It's time for our STEM Student of the Week, and this week his name is Joseph Delcastillo. He's a senior at Mandarin High School, the winner of the first Northeast Florida Computer Science Fair, won an internship at Regency Center, so he spent the summer working with a marketing team to program an automated formatting for email campaigns and new website forms for customer data entry. When it comes to robotics and computer science, he's got an incredible skill set.
So I do everything from like programming websites and different user interface stuff to programming background apps and working on servers and stuff like that to programming robots. I'm on 2 different big robotics teams, so we go through and program big robots every year, and as well as working in like full machine shops, designing CAD work, which cuts out or 3D prints different materials for projects and things like that.
A big congratulations to Joseph Delcastillo at Mandarin High School for being our STEM Student of the Week.